Start out from a dig here. See what the Rogue can do. Waiting. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna go swimming today. No, we're not gonna do that. I wish we were, but we've got driving to do, okay? This is the 2024 Nissan Rogue Platinum, and it's been significantly updated for this model year. So we're gonna take it for a drive. And near the end of the video, I'm going to compare it to the two other mid-size SUVs that I've driven in recent memory that are basically identical in price, the Honda CR-V EXL and the Mazda CX-50. So we'll see how they compare towards the end, but for now, let's just take it all in. Starting price for the Nissan Rogue, $36,000 Canadian. This one as tested. The Platinum all-wheel drive, which all Rogue models in Canada get standard, is $48,000 Canadian. Here in front of us, it's in this bolder gray. I really like it. It's got a little bit of metallic flake, but for the most part, it is more of kind of a flat color. I just think it looks awesome. And with this bolder gray, you do get the two-tone. So the roof is a little bit black. They've added, for this model year, the gloss black trim on the fenders here, down there, and then of course the front fender as well, and the front and the rear bumper. You've got some chrome here, as well as if we come to the back, we've got a little chrome trim piece here, which is part of the redesigned rear bumper. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, they have definitely cleaned it up. It's not like a significant change, but looking at them side to side, they've got rid of some creases. Like here, there used to be almost a vertical crease that went up here, and most of this was like a plastic kind of, well, this is plastic too, but it was not body color. And it just it made it look a little less streamlined. So they've completely got rid of this line. It's a little more clean down here. For a vehicle that's called the Nissan Rogue, it's, you know, Rogue Agent, it's gone rogue, right? It's dark. Chrome doesn't match. Where's the chrome coming here? That's the opposite of Rogue to me. But I will give Nissan credit. They're one of the only manufacturers still naming their cars with cool names. As you can see, the front end has also been completely redesigned. Not completely, but they've changed the V-shaped grille here, the V-Motion grille, I believe is what they call it. Another satin Nissan logo there. What they've done is they've kind of enlarged it, and instead of this section here being body color, and then this line kind of stopping here, then vertically coming up to meet it, and then there was a lot of this black down here, although it wasn't gloss. They've extended this to meet both the daytime running lights and the headlights here, as you can see. And then they've kept some of the chrome, and they've made it bigger. It does look significantly better. I mean, does it look amazing? I don't particularly love the whole split light design. A lot of manufacturers are doing this, and there's body color in between these two lights here. I'm not the biggest fan. It looks a lot better though. The previous front bumper I just was not a big fan of. There was a lot going on, but they've cleaned it up a little bit. New for 2024 are these 19-inch wheels. I love it because on this kind of size SUV, you don't get incredibly thin sidewalls. On some of the higher end stuff, hey, bigger wheels are always better. No, you guys stop. Stop with the 22s. We don't need them. So 19s here, they look pretty good. You know, more spokes, does that equal more luxury, more executive feel? You guys tell me. Under the hood, the same 1.5 liter, 3-cylinder inline turbo engine, making 201 horsepower, 215 pound-feet of torque. What's really cool about this engine, if you guys let me nerd out for a second, VC turbo, what the heck does that mean? Variable compression. This engine has variable compression ratio. So if you know engines at all, that is an insane concept. Generally, turbo engines will have a lower compression ratio. Naturally aspirated engines to squeeze the most amount of power because they don't have boost will have a higher compression ratio. So for efficiency, it'll raise the compression ratio. There's like an actuator on the bottom of the crank and other rods, arms that connect with the crank that do funky things. So without changing the actual stroke length of the piston, they're able to change the compression ratio on the fly while you're driving. Insane, incredibly crazy. It gets 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. That's the average between city and highway, which is about 31 miles per gallon. And like I said, we'll talk about the competition a little bit later. Let's get in the back here. So of course, this is based on the same platform as the Mitsubishi Outlander. The Outlander gets a third row, this does not. You're not missing out on much. The Outlander's third row is tiny, like the smallest third row in the world. But of course, we've got armrest there. Back here, we do have 2 USB-C charging points. We've got heated seats, and we've got our tri-zone climate control. And we do also have these window shades here. Tons of room. And then, of course, we have the moonroof, which I love. Hey, speak of the devil, there's an old Nissan Rogue, or a Murano. Okay, let's get inside. I will mention real quick though, these door handles, not the most expensive feeling. It's like the one touch point on the vehicle, on the entire vehicle, that just doesn't feel up to par. All right, so we do have these optioned semi-aniline leather quilted seats. These are only and exclusive to the Platinum. A little bit on the firm side. We're not talking like Polestar firm or some of the Volvo seats, how firm those are, but they've got great bolstering, awesome seats. I love it. They have 2-way adjustable lumbar, not 4. And they're of course power adjustable, and we've got our 2 memory controls there. There are as well a few material changes. They've added some color options, full leather steering wheel, heated steering wheel as well. And that is standard on all models actually, which is awesome. We've got heated seats. The biggest change, yes, brand new widescreen touchscreen display here, and it's operated on a Google back end. So, I mean, night and day difference, you guys. It is a huge difference. It's not only way bigger, but it's so much quicker. It's right up to par with the Honda system in terms of speed and ease of use. I would say this is, it feels like it has a few more features than the Honda system, while not going to the Mercedes or BMW where, like, side of things where there's so many options and it gets a little bit overwhelming sometimes on the higher end models. That's not the case here, but because it is Google based, we do have the Play Store. It's got Google Maps built in, so if we hit Maps, we have that built in. If you guys are wondering, that's where we are. It also comes with, and I found this strange, so it's got Google Voice Assistant, Google Assistant, as you can see there. It's also got Amazon Alexa. So like, how are those two gonna compete for your attention? We've already got enough social media and things jousting for our attention. I don't need 2 systems. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that's kind of integrated. This is cleaned up too. Gone is the radio knob. I can't remember the last time I listened to the radio. It's been years, so that's fine with me. And then we have our single volume knob and then camera setup. One thing that the Platinum gets that the other models do not get is a 360 rendering of the car with these 8 camera settings, these 8 camera modes. We can go ahead, should be able to click on. I have not done this yet. There we go. That's like I don't know what, PlayStation 2 level graphics. That's like, yeah, Gran Turismo 4, maybe Gran Turismo 5 level graphics. No, 4. Definitely 4. We do have quite a bit more space than the CR-V and CX-50 in here, and that's because they've kind of raised up this center section. Also, on a side note, this brushed finish here, much better than piano black. I like this. It's enabled them basically to give you this big space underneath here, incredibly useful for storage, and they have easily one of the deepest, not longest, but deepest center consoles with the split opening here. Perfect spot for your key. And then we also have the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, which is only available on the SL model and the Platinum here. Those are the two top trims. Here's the thing, all the lower trims get the older analog gauge cluster. You guys tell me, which would you prefer? This digital gauge cluster doesn't really give you any more features on top of what you would get with the analog gauge cluster, and I think the analog gauge cluster just looks better. On the Platinum, we also get the heads-up display. That's a big option that you don't get on the lower tier models. And something we don't just see right out of the gate is the additional Bose 10-speaker audio system. Great system. I'm no audiophile, but it's a great system. I love it. It's crisp, it's loud, and this is one of my favorite things actually of this new system. There's a one-touch button press here that takes me to my bass, middle, and treble, and then like screen brightness and stuff. That's pretty cool. I've never seen another car do that with one touch, and you have the option to change exactly where your audio is being sent, or you can tune your audio settings from there. Oh yeah, that 3-cylinder is paired with a CVT. See, I forgot. I completely blocked it out of my mind that this was using a CVT. It does take away a little bit from the engine. Now, versus the CR-V and the CX-50, this is right in the middle in terms of power. So that 225 pound-feet is fairly accessible most of the time, although I will say there is like a full second delay in most scenarios between me hitting the throttle, like half throttle even, and the engine responding. Either the turbo spooling up or it's setting the CVT so it gives me the most efficient amount of torque when I'm asking for it. It's just not, there's a disconnect between my right foot and the engine, and the CVT absolutely has a lot to do with that. It sucks a little bit of the driving fun out of it. And I do have to clarify, in the city, light to light, just slow, not so aggressive driving, the top of the pedal is responsive. It's got great pickup, and it feels like it's definitely more tuned to those scenarios, everyday scenarios, but in our current situation, not the greatest if you want to go make a pass real quick, or just get up and go. But we do have driving modes, of course, because this is 2024. We've got off-road, snow, auto, eco, and sport. So if we're in sport, it will hold the revs a little bit higher. And of course we have our paddle shifters, which will simulate gear changes. Start out from a dig here. See what the Rogue can do. Waiting. Okay, there we go. Oh, those are not exciting gear shifts at all. Those are the least inspiring gear shifts I've felt this year, easily. The difference in feel if this was paired with a 6, 7, or 8-speed automatic transmission would be night and day. It would make it so much more fun to drive. Not even fun, just engaging, and it's a little bit lethargic. And while it does have noticeably more torque than the CR-V, I think the CR-V's CVT is tuned a little bit better in that car. This and the CR-V cannot compete with the CX-50 for power. That thing has 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, about 100 more pound-feet than this. And I mean, that is incredibly noticeable, especially with the 6-speed auto in the CX-50. That is the only one out of these three that has an actual transmission, and it just makes the driving experience a lot better. Now, it sounds pretty good. Here, I'll take it up to red line again. It doesn't sound bad. In fact, I don't think it sounds better than the CX-50, but it absolutely sounds better than the CR-V at full chat. Not that most Rogue owners are going full chat. Yeah, it's got paddle shifters, but you're better off just kind of leaving it either in sport or in auto. In sport, it will absolutely keep the revs higher. In auto, actually, if I'm coming up to corners and I'm giving it a little bit more throttle, a little bit more G's, it will actually hold those revs pretty consistently after I get out of those corners. So it is ready. The auto mode does a good job in doing that. Good touch points, good seating position. I think the CX-50 and CR-V seats are better. I liked them better. They're a little bit softer. The build quality feels overall really good. But that does bring me to a few things that the other cars, the CR-V and the CX-50, have that this doesn't. So the CR-V, for instance, has auto up and down windows on all windows. This only has it on the driver's window, which is slightly frustrating. That's a little thing. Another thing that the CX-50 has that neither the CR-V or the Rogue is even able to be optioned with are ventilated seats. You can't do that here. We only have heated seats. But I will say, it's comfortable. It is incredibly comfortable. The ride control is great. The steering rack is precise. It's smooth. It's got a nice quick rack. We've got 235s all around on those 19s, so it's got enough grip, and it rides really comfortable. Very smooth, a little bit of body roll, not too much. Of course, all these vehicles do some brake vectoring, lightly brake the inside wheel to kind of help you around the corner. For $45,000, which all of these are around, I will put up the exact prices up right now, I would take the CX-50. It's a no-brainer for me. I like good driving dynamics and 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet. For that money is ridiculous, and it still is. I think it looks the best out of the three. And then just the vehicle dynamics. The 6-speed plays a huge role in the CX-50 in making it feel like you're actually driving a vehicle that wants to be driven versus a CVT. And the steering's better. The ride control is phenomenal. Just everything about it speaks to the driver just a little bit more than the Rogue and CR-V. And you do pay a price. You don't get nearly as good fuel economy in the CX-50. So if you're looking for a better, more economical road trip vehicle, you might want to consider the Rogue or the CR-V over it. The CR-V is more of kind of a practical solution. It's got a little bit more cargo room in the back versus this Rogue. Anyways, that's the 2024 updated Nissan Rogue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna go through a couple more corners here, and I'll just leave you guys with that before we go. Let me know what you guys think. CR-V EXL versus CX-50 GT Turbo versus this for right around $45,000 to $48,000 Canadian. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can find me on Instagram at Roads Untraveled. And yeah, I've been driving Corvettes recently. I've been driving Mustangs. But yeah, I assure you we'll be back to that kind of thing very soon. See you soon.